So, the Nintendo Switch Successor is supposedly on its way, with leaks suggesting that it's going to be here by October at least. But no matter what, it's definitely a 2024 release, which means it's time to celebrate because we're finally in the last few months of this silly little device titled the Nintendo Switch. I recently published a members-only video which was basically going over the Switch's library and listing my top 5 games from there. It's a fun video, and if you have the money, feel free to join the membership program to go watch it. But now that I've made that video, I want to go over what I would like to see in a Switch 2, as well as addressing what we already know. And luckily, we do know some stuff thanks to leaks and companies talking about the dev kits. So let's officially start with what we know, and then I'll discuss more about what I would like to see. Let's start with the obvious. First of all, we already know it's likely going to be a September/October release. How do we know this, you ask? Well, GameShark, now going by AI Shark, a technology company which is currently working on making new gaming equipment that is enhanced by AI, said they are relaunching in September 2024 to, get this, coincide with the release of the Nintendo Switch 2, which means at the very least it will be released in 2024. Now, as of this video going out, they've edited the article to say holiday 2024 and removed the mention of the Switch 2. Thankfully, people caught it in time, but it does mean we have a general idea of when this thing will be released. There's also been speculation that the system is going to be around $400, which, yeah, sounds about right when you consider we also know that the system is going to have the power of a base PS4. A lot of people are concerned about that, and I don't understand why. Keep in mind, the base PS4 is nothing to scoff at. You've got stuff like Spider-Man 2018, God of War, The Last of Us Part 2, etc., all crazy games, and you're telling me a handheld is going to be able to pull that shit off? And to be completely fair, I understand wanting the system to have PS5 or Series XS power, but as of right now, that's just not possible. And I fully believe Nintendo wants to keep the hybrid console thing going, so I don't see them going back to a home console anytime soon, unless it gets to a point where they just cannot push handheld any further. We also know that the Switch Successor will be able to run Unreal Engine 5 and have support for ray tracing. In terms of actual design, however, well, like stated, we know it's going to be a hybrid console. There's also been reports that, unfortunately, the system will have an LCD screen instead of an OLED as a way of cutting costs. Last year, Nintendo also filed patents for Hall effect joysticks, which essentially use magnets to detect movements, and it doesn't cause damage to the stick's sensor. If this is used for the Switch 2, it essentially means Joy-Con drift will be dead and buried. As far as I'm aware, that's all the important stuff we know so far, aside from backwards compatibility, which I believe isn't confirmed, but it's basically very safe to assume it'll have it. So let's move on to what I want it to have. This is purely stuff I think should be included, and nothing I say here, as far as I'm aware, has been confirmed. This is just a wish list. The most important thing for me is a fire UI. And oh my god, the current Switch's UI is just so incredibly boring. And that's crazy for a console which has fucking Mario Wonder, Splatoon 3, Tears of the Kingdom, etc. on it. A ton of games that which are so colorful and creative. And then I press the home button and see this, and it's so boring. They were cooking nothing. Look at the 3DS or the Wii, systems that are so full of personality, and on top of that, for the 3DS, you've got hundreds of themes, and then you've got the Switch that has such classics like Dark and Light theme, and that's it. There's not even any home music. Mii's have been utterly shafted. There is nothing going on when you open up this system. It is so lame, and I really hope they change it up a bit. Even if we don't get themes back, I at least want some semblance of personality here. Not even just the home UI, the eShop as well sucks. It has the same issues as the home UI, being boring and having no menu music, but alongside that, it's just so clunky and not at all fun to navigate. I hope that's also something they improve on with the Switch Successor. Another thing that's major for me is a proper friend/voice chat system. Nintendo, let us have a chat real quick, pal. Nobody wants this dog shit Nintendo Online app. I am genuinely so serious. I'm not saying you have to get rid of it. It's obviously a good alternative for those who don't have a headset or a mic in general, but the fact it is mandatory is so stupid. Let me invite my friends to a voice call on your own damn system. Xbox and PlayStation have been doing this for years, why can't you? It's also kind of funny the Switch of all systems doesn't have this, when one of its main things is being able to play together. You've got exclusives like Splatoon, Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, Mario Party, Smash Bros. Ultimate, etc. Games all about playing together, yet no traditional voice chat system unless you download a shitty app on your phone. And while the friend system isn't horrible, the friend code thing is just kind of annoying. Like, I've had my Switch since 2018, and I can promise you I haven't bothered to memorize my friend code. I'd much prefer a system where we can search via usernames, or at least give us a shorter code. Or both. Both works. On top of all of this, there's also no messaging system for some reason. And like, yeah, this isn't necessary, but I like it. I think it'd be cool. Most people aren't going to be comfortable with exchanging numbers with random people on the internet, so having a system where you can message someone to ask if they want to play a game would be insanely helpful. Again, not entirely necessary, but something I think could really benefit the Switch, and give more of a focus on communication and playing with people. And for the record, I know Discord is popular nowadays, so there isn't a big reason to include all of this, but I think having to download and create an account for a website/app that isn't entirely separate from the Switch just sucks, especially when I'm sure they could add this stuff if they wanted to. Speaking of websites, internet browser. There is technically one on the Switch, but you have to force it by messing around with internet settings. It'd be much better if we didn't have to do this by just giving us an internet browser that everyone and anyone can use. I just don't understand why they got rid of it in the first place, honestly. They had it on the Wii and on the DS, as well as the 3DS, so I'm not sure what the point of removing it was. Having an internet browser would also mean we can watch Disney+, Netflix, etc., which, for some reason, aren't on the Switch. I don't know why, you've got YouTube, Hulu, Crunchyroll, etc., but you don't have the two giants. That's just so odd to me. I don't know if this is a Nintendo thing or just the other companies being stubborn, but it's still very confusing to me why these apps aren't on here, especially when, once again, Netflix was on the Wii and 3DS. And to top it off with all the online stuff, just give us a good online experience. Even if you don't have an internet browser or proper voice chat, just let us be able to actually play online without suffering through lag or disconnecting all the time. Moving on, some extra stuff I'd like to see is increased storage. Games are getting bigger and bigger every minute, and while yes, you can buy an SD card, that shouldn't be necessary at all. And finally, just better controllers. I don't think the Joy-Cons are awful, but they aren't very comfortable to use, and obviously stick drift sucks, but there is some proof that they're fixing that. I feel like Pro Controllers are just a better option compared to Joy-Cons. I always use my Pro Controller whenever I play my Switch, so hopefully Joy-Cons get a major upgrade with the Switch 2 to make using them somewhat worth it. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I have on my wish list right now. I know there's a good chance Nintendo isn't going to add all of this, nor am I asking them to. This is a wish list for a reason. It's just stuff that I'd really want to see, but I'm not going to cry about it if they don't have everything here. Aside from themes, please add themes, Nintendo, I want them back so badly. Jokes aside though, this is obviously going to be another handheld, and so it's going to have its limits compared to the PS5 or Series X. I just hope they know how to go about those limits and what's best for the system. Either way though, that's all from me. Of course, if you enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're interested in supporting me, I have memberships open right now. Like I said at the start of the video, I recently uploaded a video for members only going over my top 5 Switch games, so you can check that out if you're a member. And with that said, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.